Hey Poopy is looking for you and your poo.
Do you have a question, story, comment, or fart noise you want to share?
You can email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com.
Or call us at the new Hey Poopy hotline, 203-998-5579.
Can't wait to hear from you.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy Podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Hey,
Hey everybody, we're back. This is the Hey Poopy Podcast with
Dave.
and Ellen, and this is episode 83, but it'll always be number 2 to us.
Yes.
And it's a very special episode with my old friend, Eric!
Yes, Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. So happy to be here.
Of course.
I know Eric through friends in LA, and we were FaceTiming maybe like a month or so ago, and he was like, when are you going to have me on the show? And I was like, let me email you. So
We were
now
face double dating.
We were. With his significant other and my significant other.
Nice.
So, yeah, and I was like, okay, I will email you. There's a protocol. I can't just whip up a date. I have to check in with everybody. And talking about checking in, Eric, we always check in with our guest first. How have your poops been?
Oh, they've been magical.
Tell me all
They
about
really
it.
have. So this all started. So every year between February and the beginning of May, basically right after Super Bowl and then until the beginning of May, I have a group of guys, about 50 of us, and we all kind of do this shedding the winter coat contest. And so I usually end up limiting my calories by a ton. And so then every year after that, I reverse diet back to where like I normally eat, which is around 3,000 calories a day. And once I get back to that caloric magical number with all the fiber and all that stuff, it's just, the mornings are glorious. Let's put it that way.
How many poops do you make a day?
Just one really, really, really good one.
And we sent you the Bristol stool. Can you describe in a number?
I would definitely say, a 7.
Oh, you're loose in the caboose.
Yeah, it's not that, I wouldn't say that loose, but none of the other ones describe the full girth amount. So
Well, no, you can. That's more texture. So
Okay.
7 is like full on butt pee-pee.
No, that's not it then. So it's probably more towards the middle then.
Yeah, type 4 is the one you want. It's long and strong like a sausage. Like
Yeah, pretty much that. That would be it. Type probably somewhere between type 3 and type 4, mainly because of the amount of fiber that I intake daily.
Nice.
3 is a little bit drier with cracks in it. But 4 is, as Dave is wearing our famous t-shirt, it's our no push, no wipe. 4 is,
Well, let's
like,
put it this way. It's usually like, but when I'm in the morning when I'm making breakfast, I'm like, the whole juices start flowing. All of a sudden, it's definitely a turtle head that's poking out that I gotta finish up what I'm doing and get to the meditation.
Right. Fair enough.
and you're just
But
doing
like I said, it's one good one a day.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What about you, Dave?
I went early afternoon. I had like a 4.5.
Oh,
5-ish,
that's
something
good
like
for
that.
you.
Like somewhere around there. It's pretty big. And yeah, it was satisfying.
Oh,
You rarely have 4. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
for guys, a good poop is just like a good massaging of the prostate, basically,
just-
because it's the exact same thing.
It's just that relief.
I know. I would
relief-
love to interview somebody who orgasms when they poop. I'm just curious if it ever happens.
Oh, I guarantee it does.
Yeah, the relief is so nice.
Yeah.
For sure. You're just like, oh my God, it's finally out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I did today.
Well, my check-in is I did not poop today, so I'm very sad at that. But hopefully, this poke bowl that I'm eating on air will help that. And yesterday I did some great poops, but over the weekend, every time I peed, I like squeezed out a couple ones, and it was like rabbit pellets central. And it was to the point where it hurt my butthole at the end of the weekend. And I was drinking tons of water. Like I was drinking at least 2 40-ounce bottles of water, and my body just was not. Maybe it's the heat, the dehydration, but it was not doing very well.
Shooting kidney stones out your butt, huh?
Yeah. And it totally woke up my hemorrhoids again. They've been a little angry. So
Tasty.
no fun at all. But I have one other bit of things for a check-in. I'm not going to name names, but Dave could probably guess. I have a really good friend of mine who's about to pop. She's very pregnant. And she has a very hard time taking care of her pubic hair right now. So she said that I was allowed to say this on the podcast. I got to wax her butthole over the weekend.
Wax her prego butthole.
Why does she care about waxing her butthole right now?
Because she says it's very uncomfortable. She's itchy. She doesn't like the way it feels. And she's like, can you help? And I was like, I will be your friend and I will get in there.
Now that's a check-in.
Yeah. So I saw a pregnant butthole like, whoa! And I was putting the powder on it, and I wore latex gloves. And there was a point where she was on her hands and knees, asshole in the air. And so her butt cheeks were spread. And I poured baby powder, and it pooled up in her asshole. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Do you mind if I blow it away? And she's like, go ahead and do it. So I was literally blew powder out of her pooled up asshole.
Nice.
So you face farted into her butthole.
Yeah.
I did. That's a real friend there. That's all I gotta say.
I would never do that.
That is a real friend.
I was like, get in there. I was like, there might be some strays that your husband's gonna have to pluck out, but I'll make it happen.
It'll be less irritated, at least.
Exactly.
All right.
So when she pops out the baby, her gynecologist will be like, oh, look at that. It's all freshly waxed.
Yeah. I mean, she probably could have had them do it when she got in there.
I doubt that that's something they would want to do.
They're like, hey, while you're down there, can you just take some of that hair out? It's like, yeah, no problem.
No, they'd probably shave it, which would be like even more itchy and uncomfortable.
Well, they probably shave it, and they probably shave it just like with water or something.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, take the time to get the brush and full of the shaving cream and really do a good job.
Totally. They dry
and then
shave
lotion
I'm sure
it down.
they could probably get like an on-staff technician in there.
Yeah.
God.
Some intern's job.
Yeah, fuck it.
No, I would not want an intern doing that shit.
Make the patient feel comfortable.
Yes. The guy here with the least amount of education gets to shave your butthole.
Oh, God.
You got to start somewhere.
Well, I'm glad I could have assisted her, and I saw a lot of butt.
You are a good friend, Ellen.
Yeah, that's more than I would have ever done.
After we were done, I was like, "Can I talk about this on the podcast?" She's like, "Go right ahead."
Oh my God, that's so
So
funny.
Ellen, you guys keep talking check-in. Did I ever tell you about chocolate check-in?
Yes, I was telling Dave about it earlier today.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go into your chocolate check-in, we would like to know a little bit about you, Eric.
Okay.
Who are you before we know about your poo?
Who am I? Oh, man. The man of many names and many different things. It's one of those things like, who do I describe? Like, which person? So, born and raised in Long Beach, lived all up and down California, traveled the world. I'm an entrepreneur, work for myself, help to support my wife and her business ventures, who she is also a businesswoman, and have wonderful friends like Ellen and many, many others. So 2 dogs, no kids. That's my
great.
life.
2 very insanely large dogs, too.
Yeah, they're big.
I think the 2 of them combined is like 300 pounds, right?
Pretty close, yeah. Lola's like 165 and Mowgli's like 125. So yeah.
What kind of dogs are
That's
these?
a lot of dog.
Lola is an English Mastiff
Oh, okay.
that we got about a year and a half ago after our other Mastiff passed away, and Mowgli we got in 2013, and he's still plugging along, so
Nice.
he's doing pretty good. He's a Saint Bernard.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, my friend had a Mastiff as well. Big dog.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
They're the best.
They're
Everybody's
really
so
sweet.
funny because they're always like, yeah, but speaking of poops, like, Lola recently took the biggest shit I have ever seen come out of a dog's ass.
I'm sure.
And Monique literally left it for me to see because she's like, I need to leave this so you can see how absolutely gigantic this dog's shit is. And it was literally one of the biggest turds I've ever seen in my life.
What was different in her diet or whatever that made that happen?
Nothing. She just, she already poops rather large anyways because she's a big girl. And this one was just enormous. It was really, really large. And she's like one of those dogs, we'll let her out, she'll poop, and she'll kind of wander back towards the back screen door, and then she'll be like, I don't think I'm done, and wander back to the grass and do another completely full shit again. So it's like,
God.
I think, those multiples that she would normally push out came out all as one that one time, and so we really got a treat.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And it's crazy though, because we, Ellen, you've been to our house. We have all these lizards that live in our backyard in the summertime, and they literally just kind of hang out and sit around where the poop area is for the dogs.
Really?
And we caught them one day. They sit around, or they literally will perch themselves on the poop, and they wait for the flies to come, and they eat the flies. Or like sometimes there's like pieces of food like undigested in the dog's poop, and they eat that out of there too. So
wow.
We are supporting a full ecosystem.
Yeah, I was gonna say
around here.
That's so smart of those lizards. Wow.
Right?
You've got a whole little museum, natural history museum going on at your place.
Right? Yeah. We're going to start fossilizing them and be like, we found this. It's from 2 billion BC.
Exactly. Paleo.
You planted that shit last week and stripped the bones out. So, yeah, good stuff right there.
I'm always jealous when my pets shit bigger than me.
Isn't that every day?
No. Some days I shit bigger than them. But when a 10-pound cat makes a bigger turd than me, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Very
your MO, though. She doesn't go to the bathroom, then she goes to the bathroom a lot, and she doesn't go to the bathroom, and she goes to the bathroom. It's just it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Your cat?
No, you.
You.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. His cat. You.
You, yeah.
I'll be your cat, Dave.
Yeah. This cat you're talking to right now, she is the queen of peaks and valleys of shitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't. Dave gave me permission 2 weeks ago that if I make a beautiful 15-inch Bristol 4, I can text him a picture. He finally gave me permission after 80-something episodes. But it hasn't happened. You jinxed me.
I mean,
That's funny.
Well,
good old Bristol.
Fingers crossed, right? There's still plenty of episodes that come, so
yeah. Oh my God.
We'll see.
Episode 367.
Exactly.
We finally have a Bristol.
Finally. Big enough. I mean, it's got to be the size of your dog's shit, so or something comparable human size.
That picture will be enshrined.
Yeah. So it's bronze it. I mean, I would bronze that. That would be that's worth.
He didn't give me permission for the first year and a half of doing this podcast, and now he's finally giving me permission. So now that I have it, I'm butt shy.
All right.
What the fuck?
Game on.
I did have a gold-plated shit emoji for years, and I looked for it today, and I have no clue where it disappeared to.
I think I remember it.
They sit on my desk. Yeah.
Yes.
Do I have any toys around here?
So I'll tell you. I'll go into that story now. I'll put on the hat for the story.
Oh,
all right, so Eric's putting on a crocheted emoji
the hat and the gold. It wasn't actually gold plated. It was golden color. So this hat was made for me. I used to stream on Twitch years ago, and we used to have conversations like this on my Twitch channel all the time. And so one time I was playing this game, and it was this kind of fable story game about the werewolf and all different fairy tale characters, and it's called The Wolf Among Us. And essentially they find this book, and in this book they find this spell. And in this spell, if somebody casts the spell on somebody or on a animal, they shit gold. Amazing, right?
Yes, please.
The name of the spell is Bricklebit. And so literally it turned into this thing where on my Twitch channel, all like if you donated something, you were donating Brickle Bits, and like everything turned into Brickle Bits. So this is literally golden shit.
Wow.
That's what, and somebody knitted it for me. Yes. And then I had the golden, it was about this big, and it was literally the emoji, but it was gold, and it was the golden shit. And so, but yeah, we used to have great turd talk on that channel as well.
Yeah, I was about to say your knitted hat and that yellow color is not a healthy looking poo, but now I understand that it's supposed to be gold.
It's gold, or it's the biggest baby shit you've ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. When you first put it on, I was like, that definitely has a baby shit kind of consistency.
Yeah.
Or look to it.
That is the Gerber hat.
Yes.
And which we learned a couple weeks ago that baby's poop stains everything.
Yes.
Ugh, what a mess. Another reason not to procreate.
Exactly.
Well, I'd imagine if
I
some
have
shit
like,
got
it's
on my...
like on the, those reason 7,327 baby shit stains everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if human shit got on my clothes, regardless if it's staining it or not, those clothes are gone. So baby shit or like full-size adult shits,
I actually can't say the same, Dave, because years ago I was having a Super Bowl party at my house, and Ellen knows this was going to be one of the stories anyways.
Oh, perfect.
And so I was having a Super Bowl party, and I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan. This was when they played Indianapolis. So we're talking about, I think it was like 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. Have all these people at my house. And I go in because I've been eating all day, drinking all day. I go in and I'm like, you know what? It's time. This has to happen. And I don't know if you've ever worn a football jersey, but they're rather long.
Yeah.
And I'm a little drunk. And so I take and I do my duty, pardon the pun. And I go to wipe, and I feel that the back of my jersey is a little longer. I was sitting on it essentially.
Oh.
And so I carefully peel the jersey off of myself to find this skid mark right down the bottom of the jersey. And luckily in that house, the bathroom was here, and literally right across the hall was the laundry room. So I went right into the laundry room, scrubbed it out, threw it right into the washing machine to get the racing stripe out of the back of my jersey.
And these jerseys aren't cheap, so you want to
this is expensive, man.
So that jersey was not burnt at the stake or thrown in a vat of acid. It still gets worn to this day. But when I throw it on, it has a memory or two that goes along with it.
And I feel like if you shit on your own clothes, it's one thing, but if it's a stranger's shit, it's like that. If you were like at an actual game and you sat in somebody's shit, then maybe you might throw that jersey away.
Well, do you guys have any recollection of the first time you ever stepped in? Well, stepped in is kind of different, but like, accidentally maybe put your hand in or like laid down in a park. Do you have any vivid recollection of the first time that ever happened to you?
That's a good.
I feel like I've been close to it in a public bathroom,
but never like you actually touched it.
Unless it was dog poop, no, not human poop.
I mean, it doesn't matter the poop. It's just anything.
I mean, I probably have more recollections of like stepping in stuff, but like touching it or like. Ooh, yeah, coming close to it. I mean, maybe, I feel like I've laid down in a park or two where you're kind of like, what the fuck is that smell?
Yeah,
and it's like
close.
it's like really, it's like you can't necessarily see it, but it's like somewhere around. You just kind of get up slowly as to not like put your hand right in it.
See, I remember vividly as a kid being in the backyard playing catch with my dad, and he threw a ball like just like a little to my side, and like I was young. I was maybe like 7. And I decided to dive for it, and just dog shit just like slid right across the ground and just all up my arm. And I'm just sitting there like,
yeah.
What am I gonna? Like you're a kid, right? So you're like, you don't know whether to cry or be what level of upset you're supposed to be.
But you're definitely upset.
That I remember as my first vivid memory of putting some form of my body into shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that I definitely have had friends that have like I've seen like playing like touch football or whatever,
Yeah.
And then like, someone falls and it's like, what the fuck was that? And you're like, great. And of course you're like, game's over because no one wants to come near you at all. You're like, done.
Especially not touch football.
Exactly,
They're like,
man.
Muddy, just muddy hands.
No. Or a tackle, whatever you're playing, like kickball, anything. You're just like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you go sit out?
Yeah, exactly.
We put in a small pool in the backyard in my New Jersey house to cool off because I don't want to go to the beach and get corona. The pool is like bigger than a baby pool, but smaller than an above ground pool. And one weekend I went down recently without the dog because the dog had a vet appointment, so she couldn't go. And there was a huge turd next to the pool, and I stepped in it, but it wasn't my dog's poop. We think it was either a possum or it was bigger than a cat shit, and there's wild cats around there too. So like, and then my friend last weekend stepped in possum shit again. So the possum is going back there and making these huge turds that are smaller than my dog's, but bigger than a cat. And it's really fucking annoying to pick up a possum's shit.
Ugh. Oh, that's so gross.
You're like, I signed up for the dog shit.
Yeah.
That's fine. I feed you. I actually created that because I give you food. So I know what's coming later on. Yeah. But you little asshole, and your berries and whatever you're fucking eating out there, I didn't sign up for that.
No. And we see him in the backyard all the time, like looking like a big fucking rat. And I'm like, ah. So, yeah.
That's
Possum
gross.
poop.
That's
My
really
other
nasty.
vivid memory from a kid was I think I was like 4, and my mom had put me outside, and she just let me play. We had a closed backyard, and she let me just play in the backyard. And then I felt I had to go, and I came to the back door, and I went to open it, and it was locked. And I was banging on the door, but my mom couldn't hear because she was vacuuming.
Oh my God.
So I'm just sitting there, just banging on the door, just screaming. And then she finally opens the door, and by the time she got to me, I just shit my pants.
Oh my God. You're like running up going like,
Come on, chicks, stay together.
oh, I think I heard that. But it's a new sound drop I had to put in there.
Yes,
It's a little,
I'm so glad you finally added that.
yeah. It's a little
Glad I could
noisy.
give you that segue.
Yes. It's a little noisy, but, I think it gets across.
Cheeks stay together. Cheeks
But
stay
that's the
together.
worst. I mean, you were so close. You were so close. And then,
Oh, it was so close. It was so close. I was right there, just banging on
oh
the door.
my God. That's like totally a movie right there. That's a movie scene right there.
That's one of those
Please.
sections when you look back and you're like, why the fuck didn't we have a dog and a doggy door I could have gone through? That little
And I
fucker could get out to take a shit. I can't get in to
Yeah.
take a shit.
I completely blame your mother, and I hope she had to do all the cleaning up.
Well, of course she did. I was 4. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, well, you made the mess, so sorry.
Yep. I think if I remember correctly, I think she just threw me in the tub. She may have actually burned those clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. I would have.
She's like, oh, God.
Eric, because you brought it up before, talk about check-in.
Well, it's not live anymore, but it was years ago. So fuck, I'm trying to remember where we were.
I'm so fascinated
Some
by
friends
this.
and I think we were actually in Phoenix, and we were talking, and they were saying how they have this game that they text with each other every single time they check in, like basically take a shit. And I said, oh, so you do a chocolate check-in. And so they all laughed, and it became kind of this comedic thing. And I was developing some apps at the time on the iPhone, and I said, you know what, we're going to create this app and just use the Google API, and then people can earn points, and they can earn little shit emojis. And we created all these emojis that you could use to like thumbs up somebody's turd, or they took a dump somewhere, and then you got points if it was like in a restaurant or in a club, and you got extra points if it was like a park public bath. Like the more kind of risque it was, you got extra points and all that stuff. So it was kind of fun, but it never did anything. So I just killed it eventually, but it was kind of fun.
Well, I remember you even telling me like it was okay on Android, but iTunes wouldn't accept it or something stupid like that.
That's correct. That's what ended up happening. Yeah,
And it's
like,
Android
why
took
would-
it, but iTunes wouldn't.
Yeah, and why? Like it's not like poop
Well, the
was
irony
too much
was
for
is-
iTunes.
The irony was they had another app just like it.
Oh.
It did the same thing or similar. We just kind of enhanced the features and stuff like that. But it was they just denied it, and then I put in a request and all this stuff. And once it was dead on the iPhone, I just kind of just gave up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But that's so annoying. I bet there's tons of those out there now. Like,
Probably. Yeah. This was 2010, 2009. So it was a long time ago, but it was, very early on in the app days and stuff. So
yeah, I remember you telling me about it when we first met. So that sounds about right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Sad.
like, get me in on this app.
Yeah.
That's just so weird
Yeah,
though. They would deny that, like that they wouldn't put that on there. That's so random.
They're much more liberal with what they allow these days than
Yeah.
what they did, I think, back then.
Yeah.
But it's poop. That's the one thing about our podcast. Poop is normal. Everybody does it. If you eat food, you're gonna shit. So it's like, I get it if it's nudity, because God forbid a child sees some nudity. But like, it's poop. Everybody poops. Get over it.
Yeah. Well, that was like what was I reading the other day? And it was somebody came in and the guy runs like a store near the beach in some vacation town, and this guy came in and was yelling at him. He needed to cover up like the women's fitness magazine because the women on the cover were in a bikini, and
Really?
and the guy's like, "I'm sorry, sir, we're not going to do that." And he's like, "Well, that's terrible. I don't want my kids seeing that when I bring them in here." And then he started talking to the guy. He's like, "Well, where are you guys headed today on your vacation?" He's like, "Down to the beach." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah. It's
So they're literally looking at hundreds and thousands of people in bikinis.
Exactly. It was just one of those things where like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, it's the gatekeepers. Ugh.
Eric, do you have any other stories for us, or do you want us to go into questions?
I do, but I don't want to just. I could literally probably take the entire hour of stories. So
No,
No,
we
please,
can
we're
keep
here for your
going
stories.
and going
Okay.
and going.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're here for you and everything. You got the questions already, so you already
Yeah.
told us your childhood one.
Yeah.
You could just go through them yourself. We're totally cool with that.
So one of my favorites of all time. It actually didn't happen to me, but I remember I was right there essentially. And it's somebody you actually know, Ellen, and you know his wife very well.
Oh,
And we were in Amsterdam. And so to kind of preface this, he told us this story when we were at dinner. And we were all drunk or high or whatever because we were in Amsterdam. And the waiter, thought that we were on mushrooms because we were laughing so hard when he was telling us the story. So essentially, he has a meeting, and he has about 15 minutes until his next meeting, and he has to chocolate check-in, essentially. So he heads into the bathroom, and it's a 2-alarm fire. He shits, and he has to flush, but it's so much that it starts to fill up, and he's got full, like he can't wipe fast enough, and literally the water
Oh no.
just starts coming up, and he's thinking, okay, it's going to start going down any second now. Well, next thing he knows, his balls are wet
with doo-doo water.
with doo-doo water. And so he was telling us this story, and I mean, I don't remember all the details, but he's like, he literally had to just start hovering, like, sometimes you women have to do, and get as much toilet paper he can and just start wiping this off of himself and then wiping himself. And the water won't go down. So he can't like sit back down. He doesn't want to continue doing what he needs to do because if he does that, he knows it's going to splash all over the place. And so he has to do his best job to clean up, waddle out of there, out of the stall, into the next stall to finish up what he was doing. And he's texting with his wife and telling her the story while we're at dinner. And her only comment back was, "Oh, dear John, your poor balls."
Oh my God.
So the next time I saw her, that was the first thing I said to her, of course. And she didn't like that too much, but it's still a really, really funny story.
Oh my
Wait,
god, was the water
He
still?
was at his office building.
No, he was in the hotel bathroom in Amsterdam where we were.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's why I
So
was
when he
wondering about
waddled
the
out, he had
next-
to waddle out into the open area of the public restroom
Oh my god.
and then into another stall to be able
Oh
to
my
finish what he was doing.
Was the toilet still like overflowing as he was waddling out, or was it just like? I mean,
I think it had gotten
had
to a stable point.
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
I don't recall completely.
oh, that must be the horror. Oh, that's horrible. oh
Yeah.
God,
Just terrifying.
poor man.
I mean, it's literally like watching a shark coming and eating you in slow motion.
Yeah.
Because it's like the water's just slowly coming at you. It's just coming at you. You know, you're about to enter the danger zone.
Yeah.
Because if it spills over, your pants are going to get
Yeah.
somewhat wet, and you have
It's-
there's nothing you can do. You can't clean yourself up fast enough to get out of there and pull your pants up. And so he had to. I think he ended up, doing what he did. He ran upstairs real quick, jumped in the shower, cleaned himself off, changed his clothes, and then came back down for his meeting.
Oh my.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy that happened, but the fact that he was able to like rally, get upstairs, cleaned up, and then back for his meeting, pretty impressive.
I'm not going to say that he was on time. I'm sure he was a little late.
Still,
But at the
that
same
would
time,
I would have been a little shook after that whole
Yeah,
thing.
you just put your game face on, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I love that.
And also, we've learned that if the water starts doing that in your home toilet, the first thing you should do is turn off the water supply.
Yes.
Because if you do turn it off, then it can't just keep flowing over, and then you can
Correct.
plunge and do whatever you need to do. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, it sounds like a more public bathroom. Like,
That was-
if the water supply
Yeah, there's
probably
no
isn't
way
even
you-
there,
It's probably
you
not.
know?
It's probably not even available like that.
Yeah, they're not gonna give people in the hotel the opportunity to just fuck with their toilets,
Yeah.
right?
Let me go manual on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's scary. That's like my worst nightmare too. Like you're just like, oh my god. Woo!
I could just
My
imagine,
worst
though, being
nightmare
like
is taking a shit and then when I stand up before I can actually flush, my phone falls into the toilet.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's little phobia. So I mean, literally, it's like I have the death grip on my phone.
Yeah.
Or I make sure it's solidly deep into the far reaches of my pocket before I stand up. Because sometimes you sit there and you're like, oh, well,
Yep.
just fire off a text or tweet or whatever, and it's like, all right, I'm done. Let's make sure this is well secured away.
Yeah. That's
We've
like,
all seen it so many times, and it happens a lot. I hate to say this, Ellen, with women, because they have, the back pockets are small. They'll stick their phone in there, and then they make a move, and it just makes that little, that little jostle.
nope.
Off it goes.
no.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Woo.
I also can imagine your friend moving to the next stall and the poop still colliding, water falling over into the stall he's trying to finish his shit into.
Then it's
what
literally
a
like the
mess.
movie The Blob, right?
Yeah.
Yes!
Water pool coming at you on the floor.
Or even worse, like your friend leaves the first stall and he trips, and then someone walks in right as it's on the floor, his ass out, like water's everywhere. It's like what the fuck is going on here?
I think they'd have a greater chance of slipping versus tripping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Either or. Oh my god. Oh.
Hi-ho!
Oh, that's a good job.
Eric, what kind of toilet paper do you use? You put it on the roll over or under?
Oh, come on now. It's got to be over.
Oh, geez.
I agree with you, but my co-host does not.
It's got to be over.
I think it's under, but
Well,
I'm in the minority.
The easy way to solve this is you go back to the original instruction manual.
everybody says that. I'm calling bullshit on that. Anything can be improved on. Under is an improvement.
I look at it this way: it's your time, it's your space. You do what you want to do.
Unless you're like Ellen and you go into people's bathrooms and change it because she doesn't like it.
But I don't do that to Dave anymore, besides the fact that we have not seen each other in months because of quarantine. But after we started the podcast, I realized I should not do that to Dave's home because this is his preference, but I do it to everybody else's.
Yeah.
Fair
At least you
game
don't have
for
to do it
everybody
here.
else. No.
And as of I believe it's a double ply Charmin. Very comfy. Very,
Oh,
very,
very
very
plush.
soft.
You like the soft stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
I know you guys have a squatty potty.
Several. We have 3 in the house, and one that travels.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
We literally,
A travel one, nice.
it folds up, and
I have that one.
it's made of wood, which I believe we could get one that's lighter, but that's the one that we travel with.
Huh.
Oh, I haven't seen the wood one. I have the plastic one.
I think you'll have to ask her, but I'm pretty sure that this was like one of the original prototypes that was done from whoever's dad made. Because I think you know whose dad it is that makes them.
No, I don't.
Oh, me neither. It's somebody's dad, and I thought it was somebody from the industry that you know. So,
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
but whatever. Yeah, it folds up, travels.
I
with
did
it.
see a travel squatty that's blow up like a pool floaty.
Yeah,
but I was
doesn't
like,
sound like
what
something
is-
I want to put my face on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
I mean,
Like, why
you know,
would I-
they talk about what is it, the poop plume?
Yes.
When you flush and you don't close the top, that poop plume that comes up. Well, that doesn't just stay above the toilet.
Yeah, it goes
No.
everywhere.
Or just like guys, when they're standing up to pee, particles of piss get all over the place. That'll get all over your squatty potty. And you're
You
going to
don't
have
need to know
one
about
that
your sexual preferences, Ellen.
No, ew. But it's like, come on. Why would you have a blow up one? That's so gross.
I wouldn't even know how that would work. It seemed like it would pop like in 2 seconds. But anyway,
I think it's that industrial thickness
right.
of the final or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look
Yeah,
that
I
up.
mean, we've traveled and there's been occasions when we forgot it, and so then it's one of those trash cans.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hotel bathroom. It's
Yeah.
flipped over,
Yeah.
and
I've seen
the
that.
toes go up on that.
Yep.
Dave and I are also big fans of the bidet, and like we're insulted when we go someplace and they don't have a bidet. So, like, I mean, thankfully we have the travel bidet now, but it's so ridiculous. All these hotels need squatty potty, travel, a bidet system. Come on, people, get your shit together.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I had a hotel, my hotel would have.
Yeah, we're gonna have to nix room service. That's fine, as long as I have a squatty potty and a bidet.
Exactly. Well, the rooms are like $5,000 each. Hey, you guys want those goddamn bidets?
Lick my ass is clean.
Oh,
Do you have any other stories for us?
I do have one other really good one, and this is also from a friend of mine. And years ago, he was working he worked and had a friend who had a tattoo shop, and this was just outside of Sacramento, where we used to live. And then years later, he stopped working there and went on to go pursue a different career. But him and his friend would still trade back and forth different pranks. And the one that made them stop was 1 year in the middle of summer, he decided to take a shit in aluminum foil and then wrapped it up. He put it into a plastic bag, and then he wrapped it up like a gift in a box.
Oh, no.
Then put it into a brown box, taped it up, and then shipped it to his friend who owned the tattoo shop at the tattoo shop. But he did it the slowest possible delivery he could.
Oh.
So it just sat in there marinating in the heat of the summer. And then the guy finally got it. And when he got it middle of the day. Tattoo shop was fairly filled with people. And he opens this thing up, and he didn't even have to get it all the way open. As soon as he got the plastic bag opened, the stench just he had to close the tattoo shop for like 3 days.
Oh my God!
That's how long it took him to air out there, because it was hot. You just have to turn the air conditioning on, and the air conditioning, only so much of that air actually kicks outside.
Oh.
So it just took them forever to get that smell out. He loves to tell that story. It's so funny because his name is Sean, and he has quite a few. He'd be a good one for this podcast, by the way. He has quite a few stories. But my wife refers to him as Shit Sean. That's how many shit stories he has.
Well, please introduce us. We always need guests.
Happy to do so.
There is that is so evil. That is like just beyond like
Yeah.
I mean, you send it to your place of business. Oh my God. It's like that is.
No. 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 Hell no. No.
That is just so wrong. It's so bad. I mean, I love the story. Don't get me wrong. It is for this show. It's great, but I just couldn't even imagine getting punched in the face with that odor of ever how long it took to get there, and then just in a small enclosed space like that. No.
That's the first story on this podcast in 83 episodes that I got a little nauseous. Not fully nauseous, but just a tiny bit.
That's because part of you actually can smell that stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
The second you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm there. I could it's thick, it's heavy, and it makes me want to retch.
Yeah, it's literally like part of you right now in your head is imagining the worst shit smell you've ever smelled, or the worst fart you've ever smelled, and gone, not even close.
Yeah,
not even fucking close to what that was.
No, but okay. So shit, when it dries out, like dog shit, cat shit, even human shit, when it dries out, it loses its smell. Mm-hmm. But this shit that he shipped was in tinfoil in a plastic bag. So the moistness stayed.
The moisture stayed. So the heat that shit was putting off kept inside of all of that.
God.
It literally was baked shit.
Yeah. That is
like a burrito in tinfoil.
Yeah. That's like I was talking to somebody this weekend and I was trying to explain to them what we do for our dogs, for example, is we have a 5-gallon bucket. There's 2 giant dogs that are shitting every week, right? And then we literally line the bucket with a garbage bag. And then each day we go out with the pooper scooper and then throw it in the garbage bag. Literally every week when I take that bag out of the 5-gallon bucket to put into the trash, I'm picking up a bag that's probably somewhere between 40 and 50 pounds.
Damn.
No lie.
That's impressive.
And, for example, this week, normally I can pull the bag out and the bag, it'll just start stretching.
Yeah.
And, it's got those ties and stuff like that, and those just start stretching. Usually I can get to the trash can and then get a good momentum whip of this bag of shit. And there's times that I'm just like, please do not be the one time that this breaks open while I'm full. Can you imagine just full on swinging and then just
dog shit
bomb of 50 pounds of shit just
and you're in a nice suburban neighborhood. It's different if you were in a major city like we are. Can you imagine beautiful suburbia with shit flying everywhere?
What the fuck? What's going on over Eric's place?
Yeah, right. And literally a small mushroom cloud above my trash can. This week it was so heavy. I didn't chance it. I just tied it up. I left it in the bucket, grabbed the bucket handle, walked the bucket over, and then literally just got the bucket on the edge and tipped it over and just dropped it in.
How full does the bucket get after a week?
90%.
Jesus.
Ooh. So it's literally a little less than 5 gallons of shit.
Yeah. But it's not liquid, so it's not gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's
but
solid.
It's a 5-gallon bucket, so that's
And this week, it was so bad because it's starting to get warm that all that heat you're talking about, I had to rinse it out because some of it had moisturized through the plastic bag. Some of that shit just liquefied itself and made its way through the bag's double ply.
Wow, you're really testing the tensile strength of those bags.
They're double ply. Literally, the inside and the outside are 2 different colors because one side is 1 ply and the other side is the other.
You get to invent some new kind of dog resistant shit bag,
right? Yeah, we're not just using those little ones. Let me pick up your little doo-doo, Jerry,
no,
and
those are
fold
bullshit.
it around and tie it up. Oh, look at that. It's so cute, little nugget. Yeah. No. It's 2 solid handfuls that you're scooping up. With the claw from the fucking game.
Mm-hmm. It's like a parachute lining.
Yeah.
You need one of those.
Oh my God. I'm usually not a fan of talking about animal shit on the podcast because I'm this is to be a human shit podcast unless there's something really exceptional.
But these are human size shits.
Yeah, I was going to say, those are
this is an exceptional, massive amount of shit.
Because everybody knows that. They've seen those dogs, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen those dogs walk around the city, you're like, that must be a nightmare to clean up.
It's usually one of the first 2 questions we get asked. How much do they eat? How much do they shit?
Yeah.
That's where it ends and starts usually.
Well,
Or do you-
literally, it is where it starts
Yeah.
and then ends.
Or do you ever get the who's walking who?
Yeah, we have a picture from years ago that we got. We were up in Washington, and it's a guy walking, and he's a skeleton, and he's got a long chain, which is like a leash, going back to Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's also a skeleton. So that was very fitting because
Nice.
big dogs and big animals
Oh,
in
yeah.
this house.
My goodness.
So yeah,
Should I ask any of these other questions?
yeah, go for it.
Like our very favorite one. Bristol 7 butt pee-pee coming out of your asshole, and there's 0 toilet in sight.
Oh boy.
Do you poop in your pants, or do you go somewhere on the floor, aka the ground?
I've been in this situation a couple of times.
Well, tell us the story.
The first time that it happened, luckily we were floating down the river, and so
What, tubing?
yes,
Bloop,
and
bloop.
but we had we used to do a float every year down one of the 4th of July weekends up in Northern California because there's so many rivers up there, and I literally told everybody, "Oh, we're going to take a lunch break." And I got over the side. I ran up into the forest, and I literally,
Dropped off.
I think I spackled a few squirrels.
Yeah.
But it was literally, it was a little lava launch for sure. After the hot sauce that I had been eating the night before.
Oh, there
Boy.
you go. There you go. The
Another
culprit.
time I was in Phoenix, and up to that date, I had never shit in a club before.
Wow, it's impressive.
And I don't know what I had for dinner that night, but it did not want to stay inside me. And so for not only for the first time did I get to shit in a club, but I also got to shit in a club with no doors on the stalls.
Oh, that's the word. Yeah. Oh, God.
Just waving at people as I'm fireballing.
Hey, guys.
I think we've heard that. Like, Dave has been in that predicament at CBGB's. We've had other guests on who have ran into a bathroom. They're like, "There's no door on the stall." But we've never had somebody say, "Well, nope, I got to do it."
Oh no, this was happening. I was not shitting my pants, and that was the other option, was shitting my pants.
Oof.
And yeah, so you just do what you got to
yeah.
do.
At that point, too, you're like, fuck it. I mean,
Well,
and most people
it's
look.
that or shit your pants.
Well, yeah, that's
right?
what I'm saying, like,
I'd rather stay in the club and hang out and be like, "Hey, look, I look like an asshole to the 5 people that actually come in here."
I'm with you, and
because
also
I got no choices.
And most people I figure most people that see you in that situation are probably like, "Oh man, yeah."
He had to go.
Like,
He had to
there's
go.
no.
Yeah, well, and hopefully it was
Stay
just
away
a
from the
men's.
oysters.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was just a men's room, though. It wasn't like a unisex bathroom.
No, it was just a men's room. Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, so worst case is, and I think only like 1 or 2 guys came in, so I got really lucky, but it was still one of those things like, who fucking designed this? Like,
Yeah.
the fuck, dude?
Like,
But we
why?
learned from one of our last episodes that in gay bars, they take off the doors so they don't fuck in the stalls.
Yeah,
But they still fuck.
exactly. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like,
but
what?
you can't poop.
This is easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
My ass isn't hitting the back of this door anymore.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. If they're going to fuck in a toilet stall, in a public bathroom, in a club, they don't give a shit if there's a door on that thing or
Exactly.
Exactly. But you need the door for privacy if you have to poop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Is there any other products that you like to use to help you with pooping besides your squatty potty? Do you have?
I'm a huge fan of
Poopery.
fiberful burritos. Heavy fiber burritos are my jam.
Nice.
Yeah.
One of my best tricks is if for any reason I've been constipated for like a day or two, that night for my snack I will have like a big bowl of air popcorn. That is like magical for me. For whatever my body just says, air popcorn through all the way right through. So that's a good one. But product wise, Poopery for sure is definitely one. I do not use a bidet. I know you're a big fan, but that's
It's the best.
something I don't use. But yeah, just squatty potty, the Poopery, and then the highest fiber that I can keep running through the whole body is always
Nice.
a good thing.
Dave's in that same camp where he eats popcorn and
Yeah, I
he
was gonna
knows
say like
what's gonna
the
happen.
popcorn thing for me. Yeah, it a lot of times will just at some point I will be going to the bathroom
Yeah.
like clockwork. I'll even
I have a buddy who's literally every time he eats, he shits. He eats. Where'd he go? Oh, that's right. We just ate. He has to go shit.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. Okay.
I feel like I've gone through phases of that. Like we'll have that for a while, then not. But yeah, not consistently.
There's some things, Dave, that make you poop like that. Like when we had Thai food that one time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, lately I just know as I'm getting older, spicier foods for sure make me go to the bathroom a lot quicker than it used to. Like, never used to bother me, but now it's like if I have like really, really spicy food, like it's going to be a bad night.
If I have a day of drink, like I call it a day of drinking, where I drink like mainly just like 15, 20 light beers.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a beer shit at some point in time.
Oh, most definitely.
That's happening.
Do you get
Now
the beer?
all those hops are going to be like,
Yeah,
let's go.
it's bubbling.
Yeah.
Do you get the beer farts too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Ooh.
That was a good one.
Yeah. And do you have any cures for diarrhea? You told us your constipation cure.
Cheese, protein shakes.
Oh, really? They bind you up?
Wow, protein shakes. That's a good one.
Yeah, high levels of protein usually will do it, and especially high levels of protein. The challenge for me is that it can't be like whey or casein because of It's weird because I took an Everlywell test to see what I have issues with food sensitivity, and ironically enough, my wife thought for sure I was going to come back, with a dairy intolerance, and I don't. I don't have a dairy intolerance, but I do have a whey intolerance and a casein intolerance. So you can kind of tie those together, but it's interesting. See a fat man just walk behind you. So it's really going back to the protein thing. What's really interesting with that, though, is I mainly eat like any of the protein products that I eat now, whether it be protein bars or protein shakes, are all made with pea protein. From pea plant, from the pea plant. And so, but it doesn't really give me any of those issues. Like when I used to intake that high level of protein before, it was like trying to pass a brick. Whereas now it's still pretty, nice and smooth.
All right.
So the pea protein doesn't make you as constipated as
That's
the
correct.
whey. Okay.
Gotcha.
But
That's correct.
if you have diarrhea, you want to grab the whey.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
binds you up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. If I got a little bit of the bubble guts, then yeah, let's grab the whey.
I have something for you. Have you heard of Magic Spoon?
I have not, but I don't get loose very often. So
No, but I'm saying if the next time you get loose, get some Magic Spoon, which is a keto-friendly, paleo-friendly, or maybe not paleo, but keto-friendly cereal that's made out of whey protein, and it tastes like sugary cereal, and it's delicious. But
sounds good.
eat that and get constipated.
When I was a kid, we used to go the other way to get rid of constipation. Used to be Cheerios.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then
yeah.
I was a weird kid. I ate all these weird things when I was a kid. I used to sit there and I used to pour a bowl of dry Cheerios. And instead of pouring milk on it, I would cut slices of cheese and eat the Cheerios by the handful and then take bites of cheese. I was getting the Cheerios with the dairy in a different manner.
Yeah.
Or you could say it was like crackers and cheese in a different manner.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things that I did. It was the weirdest thing.
Fascinating.
That actually sounds delicious.
I loved it. It was I haven't had it in years. My mom, I don't know if you remember those giant, huge bricks of Tillamook cheese. Just get one of those and have one of the cheese slicers. Remember those old cheese slicers with like a little wheel on it and had like the wire string? You'd adjust it to whatever thickness you wanted the slices to be. Now we have all these fancy cheese knives and shit like that.
Old school. I like
But
it.
yeah. No, those cheese slicers, man. I just slice a bunch, put them on a little plate, put a bowl of Cheerios together, and just
Snack away.
That sounds awesome.
Yep. And I always said it kept a good balance because the cheese would constipate me and the Cheerios would loosen me up. So it would keep me right where I wanted to be.
It's like you're yin and yang.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got to try that.
Exactly.
God, it is so funny. Oh.
Dave, can you think of anything else?
No, I thought we Eric covered a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff. No, for sure. That's awesome.
Been thinking on this for years.
Yeah. Well, we can get into our next segment. Let's get shitty.
Yeah.
And I'll play this little theme song and I'll break it down to you. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Let's Get Shitty.
Yes, that part of the show. So basically, you get to complain about whatever you'd like. It doesn't have to be poop or fart related, but if it is, you get extra points. And yeah, again, anything you'd like. And if you don't want to go first, if you have nothing to complain about, that's totally fine. We can always loop back to you. But since you're our guest, feel free to let it out. Let it out. Get it off your chest.
Fly.
One of my largest pet peeves is when I'm using a toilet in a hotel room and you're sitting there, right? Who made the brilliant choice of putting the toilet roll back here?
Great one.
How,
Great.
like, you have all this room in here. Why there? That and using like the thinnest, cheapest possible toilet paper that you can buy, which I end up using 7 times the amount I would normally use, is another one. But there's my hotel bathroom rant.
Completely
Great.
agree. Yes.
Great complaints. I love that
I
one.
completely agree with that in everywhere. Like, it should be as easy for you to get to as possible. Not behind you, not far away from you. It's insane.
The behind one.
Well, I
is
saw
like,
a great
the
one
worst.
once. It was on a stick. It was one of those freestanding and then it had the roll on it. I can move it wherever the fuck I want. If I'm left-handed, if I'm right-handed, I can get to it. Easy access. That was the smart move. Just take
I
it off
like
the
those
wall.
sticks too. I have a stick one and I take it off the stick and roll it around my finger and put it back. Like, you got so many more options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I'm gonna have to do that from now on. When I get prepared, I'm gonna walk in. If I see it there, I'm just gonna roll off a whole bunch of the toilet paper, tear it off,
just get ready,
and then while I'm sitting there shitting, I'll fold it into its proper components while I'm doing my duty.
I'm just imagining like you're sitting there and there's like a mound of like just TP in front of you. just you're like, hey man, I gotta be prepared. I'm not reaching back there.
One of those. Like I'm literally playing. What's the game that you pull the blocks out of?
Jenga.
Jenga. When I pull my.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good one. My Let's Get Shitty is, well, again, I love my Snap-on bidet, but lately I've been having this issue where the little spout where the water comes out just it won't like come down. So I hit the button and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I have to go back there in mid shit and then like pull it, which has happened it's like been happening more lately and it's driving me fucking crazy. So, and it's so, just the thought of that's so gross. I hate that I'm talking about this, but it was like, it's like a design flaw in this particular bidet that I just want to figure out a way to like, how do you fix this? Because even my wife's been like, the thing's not coming down. I'm like, I can't help you now. I'm like, you're gonna have to dry wipe and then I'll come in there later on and fix it because I'm not doing it right now.
I know your bidet. Do you do the nozzle clean?
I do all that.
Yeah, like so it comes down with nozzle clean, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like it's just like when I go
but
to
this won't come down with bidet.
So it's really
That's
weird.
so fucking annoying.
I mean, it's knock on wood, everything's working the way it's supposed to, but it's been happening a lot more lately, and it's been driving me fucking crazy.
Maybe it's the heat.
I don't know what it is, but it's frustrating the hell out of me.
Oy.
So that's my that's what I got. Ellen.
I don't have anything. I feel like I complained about like my hemorrhoids already. I complained about the possum shit.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
That's
I can't think of anything off the top of my head to complain about. So believe it or not.
All right. Well, we're going to take our problems, Eric and I's problems. Eyes, that's not even the thing, a word, grammar. But I'm I'm just going to blame the heat on that one.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're just going to take those issues.
I can throw another one in there if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, please,
you can
yes.
Take
It's
mine,
not.
Eric.
It's not directly related, but it's on the front side.
Okay.
Related. One of my absolute biggest pet peeves is when you go to a restaurant and you look on the menu and you order something, and when your food comes, there's something on the food. This mainly happens with like sandwiches. Something on the sandwich that wasn't on the menu.
Oh, I agree.
And I do not like mayonnaise. And when it's mayonnaise or mustard, I literally want to punch the owner of the restaurant in the dick.
You go back
Because those are things that people like literally they don't like. Like I actually have a physical reaction to mustard. Like my body will throw it right up.
Wow.
Mustard. Like I cannot actually eat it. And I've had it at times when I've taken it, I've been like, oh, let me take a look at the motherfuckers put mustard on there. Yeah, take it back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I hate mayo too.
My partner Gerald does the same thing with mayonnaise. Like he gets physically ill from mayonnaise. So yeah, people need to ask or put it on the menu. I completely agree.
Oh, okay.
So literally at this point, I now have trained myself. If I order a sandwich somewhere, I ask if there's anything on the sandwich that's not on the menu.
Smart.
But I should not have to do that.
No.
Well, my thing is,
Even when they put the littlest thing on there, it's like, what the hell is this shit?
I don't like.
Maybe I didn't want onions.
Yeah. I don't like tomatoes, and they always put tomato. I'm like, no tomatoes, please, and it's always on there. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like you're making sandwiches all day. Like it's a robotic at that point. But I'm like, please, no tomatoes, and there's always tomatoes on there. Like
at
every
least
time,
tomatoes you can peel off.
Exactly, that's
if
true.
If I get a mustard sandwich I can't just scrape that shit completely off.
Yeah, you got to start completely from scratch on that one. Oh, that sucks. Well,
I just realized. Wait, Dave, I figured out my pet peeve. If we're gonna go to like, let's get shitty. It's bath mats.
Bath mats?
I cannot stand when a bath mat is constantly on the floor where your dirty shoes and poo-poo particles and everything gets on it. When I'm not showering, my bath mat is thrown over the tub or somewhere where nobody can like get it dirty. It's the one place my clean feet get to touch when I leave the shower. And when I walk into other people's homes and their bath mat has been sitting there for God only knows how long.
Our bath mat's in there, but we don't walk in there with shoes. And then my toilet lid's closed all the time.
But like, you're fine. I'm talking about all those other animals out there.
I don't know who these people are letting you go into their bathroom with their shoes on because I just don't want any. I don't want any shoe remnants on my clean floor.
Exactly.
Ever. But
Ellen, I think you just have to have a no shoe policy.
That's impossible with my partner. I have tried my hardest. He refuses.
Get him
Tell him he only gets to wear Vans slip-ons from now on. He can just slowly work himself right into that 80-year-old man.
Oh, you have that
That's the only shoes he wears anyway.
Get him some just slippers. That's just for the house.
I tried.
Oh well.
I tried.
Well, that's
or you know what you do is you get those little shock things that have the shock that goes in the shock collar, and then you set up the invisible fence right around the front door. So then as soon as he walks through the invisible fencing, both of his feet get lit on fire.
Oh, I like that idea.
Oh my God, that's so good. Well, we're going to take those problems and flush them down the toilet. So here we go. Cleansed.
Such relief.
Yeah, right? So we have one little last segment here. It's a news segment, and I'm going to play the theme song for that, and we'll get into it. So here we go. Yes. So this, I think Ellen sent this to me a while ago, and I'm finally getting around to it. I got truth be told, full disclosure, I've not read I've read the article, but it's so long, and it just gets into so many little specifics that I just want to just kind of do a sort of
summarize it and then we'll link to
exactly.
it.
So this came from Vice. It was meet the men who have a fart fetish.
Oh, I'm so glad you're finally doing this.
I just completely forgot about this one. So basically, some part of the question is so how do you develop a fart fetish? And according to Sarah Berry, who is a relationship therapist, farts are generally regarded as funny, gross, or embarrassing, which all are true. I think they're really funny. And they can be very embarrassing, and a lot of times they are pretty fucking gross.
Yeah.
So they were saying like somebody like that basically they just kind of reflected on this at some point in their life and just, I don't know, it just became like a thing. It just became like just like part of their identity. Which, by the way, the name of this thing, a fart fetish, is called Hold on, here we go. Whoa, I'm going to have to edit this out.
It's going to get dubbed in like those commercials.
Totally, yes.
Yep,
completely.
We'll dub it later.
So fart fetishism is also known as eproctophilia.
Whoa.
So it's, just being like sexually aroused by anal flatulence. Which I'm not trying to like poo-poo, pun intended, anybody's like their kink, but like I just like of all the things out there, I'm like, yeah, that I don't really get into the whole fart thing, but okay, fair enough.
I want to interview these people.
Oh
so
yeah,
badly.
I really want to dig deep into this stuff because it's just like they're saying people just love the whole idea of the sour smells, the deep inhalations, the loud rips, all that stuff kind of plays into like their fantasy. And it runs the gamut. There's a guy named Jason who's 22, who's from the U.S. He was saying his fantasy started, or his like farting fantasy started when at the age of 6. And then like while watching The Lion King, just like, yeah. I mean, it was like,
in that movie?
Jason, the 22-year-old straight man from the U.S., was saying that at the age of 6, he would imagine hanging out with a gassy Pumbaa from The Lion King. I don't know why he thought Pumbaa was really farty, but for whatever reason, he just thought that was a thing. And he was also not allowed to say the word fart, so it became like a really taboo thing for him. So I think that just became, it's like forbidden for him. So he was just really just got into it. So that guy was 22. There's a man from Australia named Rick, which is, I'm imagining a fake name because it's R-I-C with an asterisk next to it. But he was saying his same thing, went back to early childhood as a young boy. And he was saying that like he always had some kind of unsaid admiration for other boys who were public farters. Oh. They seemed so uninhibited, confident, and a little subversive. So he felt a little more courageous, and that just kind of blossomed into his whole thing. But I'm just like, Jason and Rick, they're like these dudes that are like, they love farts. And
God bless them.
Yeah, they're doing their thing. There's another guy named Fabio from Brazil, 37, and he's heterosexual.
What does his hair look like?
There's no photo. I just imagine it kind of like it's a little bit like shoulder length, and he's like, he's doing capoeira as he's farting. No,
there you go.
That's just like a total generalization. Anyway, so he was saying that like, as a straight man, he's exclusively attracted to men's farts.
Wow.
So it's just like it's a gender thing for him. But I definitely would love to interview someone on this podcast that has this because I am very fascinated by this because I just want to know.
Yes.
Just like inquiring minds want to know. But,
yes.
It
makes me think of when I was in college. I took a sexual education class. It's a little different than you think, but they brought in a guy and he only had one leg, and it was the portion of the class that was talking about fetishes, and he was a lawyer in Washington D.C. and he had believed his entire life that he would be better looking and sexier as a one-legged person. And no doctor would amputate his leg. And now, mind you, this was when I was in college, so we're talking about the early 90s. And he had been an amputee since late 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
Whoa.
And because he couldn't get a doctor to do it, he ended up taking and buying lead pencils and just slowly stabbing his leg.
Oh, my God.
While he was in court to essentially create an issue with his leg to where they had to amputate. So when you talk about these things, like when I say like I have heard the things that makes me feel that there is nothing beyond the human mind and what they think from a sexual fantasy standpoint, that is exactly why I think that way. And I'm not surprised. And some of the things you see or hear about, whether it be plushies or whatever, none of that stuff shocks me ever.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like people just they make up in their head, and it's like it just becomes their identity, And I mean, that's fine. More power to you. I'm just like, I'm so just like imagining just sitting there poking yourself with a lead pencil until you literally have to get your leg taken off, to remove, just because that's something that you want to do. Like you can't let it go. I mean, it's fascinating, like how the mind works that way.
There's also the process of progression, right? So you think about it, like when we were kids, like a Playboy was enough.
Yeah.
Today, not so much.
Yeah. They're like, this is PG, right? What is this?
Yeah.
It's a G rating.
They show this shit at Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Oh my God.
So I have an interesting question for you guys that I was wondering if it would come up, and I thought might be a good one for you to use. Ellen, when you were a kid, what did your family refer to farts as?
I think just farting.
They didn't have any like weird word or anything?
No.
Dave?
My parents it's either fart or poot.
Poot? My mom referred to them as fluffs.
Fluffs?
Fluffs.
Fluffs, that's pretty good.
Mom. She's adorable.
Yeah.
Fluffs pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe my grandma said poot, but my dad would fart in my face. So, I mean, that was a sign of love.
There we go. That's how you got the piercing in your nose, right?
Exactly. But it's surprising I don't have a fart fetish, like with all the shit that I went through.
Well, that's because it was your dad that was doing it.
Yeah, I'm not attracted to him. God bless. Yeah. But I just would like to say, when it comes to people with fart fetishes out there, if anybody wants to pay me for my farts, I will fart on them all they want. Whatever we have to do to make money for this podcast, I will supply.
I'm good. Unless
I'm not asking you to
No.
me.
I'm saying like I don't want to fart on someone's face or whatever either. I don't want to do that. Ellen, no.
Maybe you can jar them up and ship them worldwide.
Yeah.
There you go.
My farts are for sale.
$49.95.
And pick the slow delivery so it can marinate.
Right.
Oh my God.
We're putting that
as soon as you get it, you get that little like pickle jar, and it's just sweating inside.
Oh.
It's just complete air, but it's got just water drops.
Oh. It's like a whole new ecosystem in there. There's like plants and shit growing in there. Oh my God.
That's what we're gonna put on the merch next.
Yeah.
Dave.
There you go.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, Eric, thank you so much for being on our show, man. It was delightful. You're awesome.
Fun.
You're awesome.
Happy pooping, everybody, and toot toot toot.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment. Produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at Hey Poopy Podcast and Twitter at Hey Poopy. Theme song by Jordan Pearlson. Hey Poopy.